What's going on, guys? My name's Corey. Welcome to Tinker Time. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Hey, I splurged a little bit. We do a lot of pit bike riding and racing out here behind the neighborhood, so I was riding this kind of junky one that was falling apart. I was riding and the exhaust fell off of it. A couple other problems with it, but selling a four-wheeler the other day, and a dude just offered to buy it from me, so I sold it, but I got one exactly like it, and we're just going to do an unboxing of the Apollo DBX18. So we will see how much it's assembled right here out of the box, and then we'll finish assembling it. I'll probably go through it and put some Loctite on some certain bolts and stuff that I found that vibrates loose after time. So we'll do an unboxing and we'll get to it. Alright guys, in the time lapse, all I did was remove it from the crate. I didn't put any bolts in yet. I haven't done anything. The only thing that I've done was pull it out of the crate, put it on my stand here, and in order for it to stay up there, I had to use a piece of wire for that bottom shock mount. That's not, that bolt's not in there from when you pull it out of the crate. So I just got a piece of wire stuck in there for it to hold it for us, and so to stay on the stand. So first things first, we need to put the shocks on. So this is everything that came out of the kit. Looks like you got a little tool kit here. I'm not sure what this piece is. A bag of hardware. That's gonna go in the trash because I got a cooler one. Kickstart. Gas cap. This is your swing arm bolt, or your front, I'm sorry, not your swing arm bolt, your front wheel bolt goes through your wheel. We have a shifter, front fender, seat, number plate. I feel like it's going to go together pretty quick, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. I'm going to be Loctiting a few things, so we will set you guys up and we'll go through it. This is a little walk around here. This is how it comes out of the crate. Handlebars are hanging. Front shock, or the rear shock, isn't mounted at the bottom on the swing arm, like I showed you earlier. Looks like it's gonna be pretty simple though. This is your front brake caliper here. I showed you guys that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I am gonna pull the steering stem nut off because those like to vibrate loose, and I'll put some Loctite on that as well. But pretty nice bike. The frame's very beefy, so I'm a beefy guy, so we take these things out back and jump them. So I decided to go with something that's a little more rigid for me. So I don't really like, it's like tucked under the engine there. Hopefully that's just because it's on the stand like that, but. All right, we're gonna get started on it, guys. All right, first things first, I got the first fork here. This is the one where the brake caliper mounts up to. So I'll put this on the left side of the bike, on my right, since I'm looking at it backwards here. But pretty simple process. I'm just gonna slide this up to the bottom fork. And these might be crooked, but you can turn them. Just make it line up there. Just like that. So I'm gonna do it about maybe 1/8 of an inch above the upper triple clamp there. I'm already missing a bolt, so it didn't come with one. It must have fell out. But we'll tighten the lower one first, just to hold it in there, and I'll go back with Loctite. I'm just using a medium strength. If you put the red stuff on it, it'll pretty much take heat to get it off. So just put a little dab on here and don't go crazy with it. Snug them up for now. So now that top one's holding it, I can run this bottom one back off. Put some Loctite on it. Now I gotta find another bolt for this. The assembly manual does not have torque values, so we'll just run them down real good. And this should be part of your kind of like your periodic maintenance, just making sure all these things are still tightened up. Alright, we'll go ahead and throw the other fork on while we're at it, and then I'll find another bolt for that later. And you just want these to be kind of even on both sides. That looks pretty good. My bike's trying to fall down now. We're pretty rough on these things, so I didn't want to spend $2,000 on a name brand dirt bike that I'm just gonna tear the piss out of. So my last one held up really good. It was fast enough for what we do, and I really liked it. I kind of regret getting rid of it, but it was just falling apart. I think I paid $889 for this, and that was the guy dropped it off right in my driveway today while I was at work. So super easy. Sorry for the background noise, the trash guys coming through. So I figure for $800-900 I might have to replace some things on it, but the parts for these things are so cheap, which is what I love about it. I can rebuild a top end for $10, you know, so it's kind of awesome. sorry about that. The trash guy came up wanting to buy a bunch of stuff, so I had to stop there. But I'm just gonna go through and just double check these bolts here. I was talking while I was putting them in. And most of these Allens are 5. The top one's 6mm, and the lower two are 5s. So, cool, they're all Loctited and tightened up. So next, I think, is the handlebars. I want to pull this nut off first before we put the handlebars on, because I want to Loctite that nut there. So pull that off real quick. I was riding my old one I had just like this, and he was hitting some jumps back there, and got back to the house and I was like, holy crap, the dang nut was gone on it. So pretty scary stuff. You'd hate for these forks to drop out from under you while you're in the air. So just put a little Loctite on there and try to avoid that from happening again. Alright. Cool. Not sure if you can see it. So these look crooked right now, but these spin so you can line up your front wheel and stuff. So I'm gonna let this sit on the ground. It's pretty solid. So I'm gonna grab the handlebar hardware. So these are your risers. These will sit. So there's two different ones here. So you got the thicker one, which will sit up top, and then your handlebars will sit down in there, and then the cap goes over. So the caps have the Allens. This will sit up there, and then there's 4 bolts that run up through the bottom. All right, so those are good. These handlebars will just fold right up here. Just make sure your cables are ran the way they're supposed to be. Really watch out for your throttle cable. Make sure it's not binding up on anything. I don't know why they did this. I might unplug that, so because it's going through these two, the brake and the clutch cable and the safety switch there, the kill switch. So I might try to feed this back up through here, but essentially you just want to make sure there's no binding on that throttle cable, because if it can make your throttle stick, and that would turn bad real fast. I'm gonna throw these caps on, but I'm not gonna Loctite them yet because I want to set the bike up and tilt my handlebars where I want to get them once it's all built up. So I'm just gonna run these in and snug them down. Cool, the handlebars are in, forks are done. I'll go ahead and Loctite these two, just because I don't want my fender falling off. And then these things vibrate so much that Loctite really helps. do a balancing act on this thing. Just gonna go bolt, big spacer, brake rotor facing the caliper side. And then small spacer. I'm sorry, I'm terrible at this. Sorry, bolt, big spacer between the actual rim, and the fork. And then on this side, over here, the shorter bushing. And then the nut. Put my Loctite on it. Alright, so your caliper's going to fit on the inside of the fork. And your bolt's going to run all the way through the fork. And then this part is threaded. I forgot they did this. There's a clip in there. So you got to pull this out. Sorry if my knees are in the way. Just like that. Definitely Loctite these. I believe there's already brake fluid in there. It's already bled, so it should just be bolting these on and good to go. We'll test it though before we start going crazy on this thing. Front brakes are working. So 10 mil. Let's back this bolt out. It's pretty self-explanatory, kind of, but some Loctite on it. I really don't like how the bolt feeds up to the bottom. I'd rather have it up here, so if it did loosen up, at least it wouldn't fall out. I'd probably kind of try to stay there, but oh well. I guess China people don't really think about things like that. Alright, that's good. So we'll go to the other side into the shifter. tight. Grab a socket. Alright guys, this is the finished product here. I'll go over a couple things that I did off camera. First of all, I checked every bolt, every motor mount bolt here, and swing arm bolt, and then the 2 motor mount bolts. I checked the carburetor bolts, the intake bolt. Remember earlier I said that it looked funny because it was already all the way up in here, but it's pretty flimsy. I probably can see that breaking in the future, but I just grabbed it and bent it back out. I checked the rear axle bolts. Something else that I found, I moved the levers to my liking. This kill switch wires were actually wrapped underneath here, so when you would pull the clutch, it would actually like pinch the wires in there. So I pulled the switch off and ran the wire on top. Just something to look out for. I didn't have a bracket for here, so I just zip tied the brake line to the mount there. One other thing that I found that I didn't like, here's your crankcase vent here, and this was like, this is how much I cut off of it. It was like wrapped down in here and kinked before it got here. So if the hose was kinked, it wouldn't allow the pressure to come out of the crankcase. So, and that can cause problems. My DRZ back here, I accidentally pinched the vent line and started blowing the valve cover seal. So that can cause some issues. So definitely check that hose out if you're putting one of these together. You don't want that hose kinked because it goes up in here and vents. So I checked these bolts, make sure I can see, that hold that skid plate on. Those were loose, so check those under there. And there's some oil under there. I drained the oil and changed it with some full synthetic. But it's ready to fire up. I put gas in it. So I'm gonna leave you on camera here, and we'll start it up and see how she runs. Explain that. Thing that I found, the exhaust studs over there were loose too, so put a wrench on those, make sure those are tight. can tell from the ride along there. It runs pretty good. Got a slight mess to it. I still have to adjust that carburetor, but I ain't too worried about it. They come from the factory running a bit rich. So I'll get in there and tinker around on that carburetor a little bit. But other than that, super simple to complete or to build up. I would not recommend paying the extra like $100 or $200 for them to build it for you. I mean, half the crap they put together is loose anyway. So I mean, just watch this video, and literally I filmed all of it except for what I went over off camera, which is just little things. So as far as you've seen it come right out of the box, that's exactly how they come. So we did it together. So great bike, and very sturdy, built a lot better than like the Tao and Coolster bikes, stuff like that, a little bit more beefy. So I had fun doing this. I was watching it today at work, the guy dropping it off, and I just wanted to get home and break into it. So thanks for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and we got more stuff coming for you. Catch you on the flippity flop.